Today I thought I'd do a little stream to try and finish off what I was working on yesterday, because it's very close to getting something on the screen from the VSCode. So to recap for anyone just tuning in, or anyone who stumbled across the stream, what we're doing is trying to build a chatbot where you can ask the chatbot something, well, not something, but you can ask the chatbot a question about the hover information on my screen. So if I just launch VS Code, put it on the screen, and so basically if you ask the chatbot something to do with what's on line 12, column 30, the chatbot would then respond back, that's a val line float. And I just thought it would be a kind of interesting integration of being able to use the tooling, the VS Code extensions, Fable, and also integrating with live streaming and Twitch. Another is highlighting bot, so you can ask it to highlight a certain line, and we'll probably steal a bit of regex from that to filter out the message, just so we don't have to define the regex ourselves. So that's the project. As it stands, you can send the chatbot a message if it's running, and it will reply back with nothing currently. So what we'll first of all do is, what we first need to do is change this execute hover so it actually returns back something. So we'll collect the results from this first. Hover result. Actually, we'll change this so the signature is just line col. Call it column because just to make the code a bit nicer. So basically using pattern matching here so that when, if we backtrack a little bit, we're collecting a line and a column here, so just so we can print them in the console log. So that's a bit crappy for now, but we'll change the execute hover so it actually takes a line and a column separately. And currently it returns none, but we'll change it so it returns the promise results. So let's add that, return the result. So now it takes a float and a float. The float's because, why are the floats? I think it was a VS Code thing. Lines and columns are always in floats. And it returns back an A option, which is this result. This result is whatever execute hover comes back with. So currently with the Fable binding that we generated with Fable to TS to Fable, sorry, it comes back as, all of the commands come back as a promise option. Promise option T. We'll actually look at this quickly just to have a check. I'll keep this up just for reference for now. Let's keep it on the side. Okay, so the fable binding takes a string, which is the command we're going to execute, and a parameter array where the rest is hi Angry Bird. Promising the option of tea, yeah. At the moment I haven't got tea, I've only got water, but I do have a drink. Hi Gareth. I've actually fixed the Twitch overlays, so you just saw one just then saying that Gareth's hosting me, so thanks Gareth for hosting. So Gareth says no tea, what kind of Brit are you? Well, I'm going to get a cup of tea in about an hour, but talking to myself on this stream is something that requires a little bit of water as well, because I exhaust the tea quite quickly. I've had a couple of cups already today. I'm going to make this full screen because we don't need that reference window at the moment. Possibly chunk up the size of this so it's a bit easy to view. Oh, that looks massive now. Right, so execute command. This is a bit iffy. Well, it's not iffy, it's just gnarly. T option. So executing the command. Promise T option. I can't remember if that's something that TS2Fable generated or I just added on. So execute command comes back as a result of option A. Let's try and figure out how to get this back into a real result rather than option A. I'm thinking if we can make this command generic so we can pass in the type of the return. So we could perhaps do hover array. I think that command returns back a hover array. As usual, I need the reference window now. Execute hover. Not found. So I probably picked a strange time to start the stream because for it to stream starts now, so a lot of people will be starting to do their C-sharping. Execute hover. No results. Okay, execute hover. So it returns a promise that resolves to an array of hover instances. So if we tweak this like that. So Gareth says, for it to stream does indeed start. This is one reason we could do with the project that Brendan has done work on that I might play with too, about scheduling streams. Yeah, I figured that the people that are interested in FritStream might not be interested in F#, but they could be, but probably not, but you never know. And I did start it before Fritz's, so I figured anyone lurking on the science topic or whatever it is that the live streams are on might find it. So yeah, Fritz streams around 2 every day, and 2 o'clock isn't dead convenient for me. It just so happened today that I can do one now. For me, it's probably easy to fit one in around 5 p.m. GMT. I've kind of got like a period of time between 5 and 7 where it's nice to take a break from doing other work and do a stream for a couple of hours, and it can fit in my schedule on Mondays and Wednesdays quite easy. So maybe it's Fridays too. So what are we doing? I forgot. So execute command. I mean, this isn't generic. Yeah, I forgot that the US are on daylight savings, so it's only like 4 hours behind for kind of like New York time rather than 5 usually. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think our time changes for. I think it's the 3rd Sunday in the month, or the last. I always forget. And I always forget which direction it moves in as well. So I think we'll try and tweak this so that we can fit in the arguments. Yeah, I don't like daylight savings. I'd rather just have it normal time all the time, because in the summer it ends up getting light at like 3 in the morning. So they should just make it a more sensible time for it to be getting light. I've forgotten the syntax to do generics in the abstract. Completely forgotten. Execute command. So the command is a string, and then it's tuple parameter. The parameter is a bit annoying, but that's just how it's an array of any in the TypeScript binding. And then the TypeScript binding generates a resize array of object options. This originally was a thenable. Thenable is kind of an abstraction of a promise, so it can be a promise or any other promise type as long as it implements then. So the promise in Fable implements then, so we can use that there. And by sticking the promise here, it means we can use it in the promise computation expression too. I'm going to have to look up the syntax for an abstract generic in fsharp because I've forgotten. Ooh. Fumbled the keyboard. So, I'm probably looking at the abstract syntax is better. So we've got abstract, member type, type signature. Abstract colon. No, my brain's gone blank. I've forgotten how to do this. Extract member syntax is the type signature, but our type signature we want to have a generic explicit generic so that we can give this the parameter that, I suppose it's a bit fiddly. It's a bit strange it lets me do that because I haven't made that generic. I imagine it's going to fail when we run this. npm run watch. Let's see if this builds. I think the generic argument there is going to screw it because it's not expecting it. Yeah. Oh no, different error, call. So that's line 50. It's because I renamed that. Keep that running because it, I think, see if anything fails a lot easier. Oh, that did work. I found that confusing, the syntax. It's just the abstract syntax is kind of goes against how we normally define. So it's a promise T option. So I'm providing a T for the promise coming back. And I kind of expect it to put shove one at the front as well. Anyway, that succeeded. We get back an option hover array and we return it. Okay, so execute hover. So this will bring us back a promise. So we'll get rid of the run. So it's literally bringing back a called promise. We're passing a line and a column, and it passes back a promise option hover array. And we'll put this inside a promise block. So that'll bring us back our results, and then we'll match that with some hovers. Console.log. If none come back, we will just print no hovers. Then we'll pipe this into promise run. Don't actually need this. We're not going to do the line column thing anymore. So this is going to be unit type now. We can drop the indents on this. Promise run. So we won't bother logging that either. Get rid of the line column there because we're not going to use that. And we can drop the indents here. Oh, we'll ignore that. So I think now when we run that, we'll possibly get some results back, and if we do, we'll log the hovers, and if we don't, we'll just log that we get no hovers. So save that, see if it compiles. Yep, and we'll give this a spark this off, see if it runs. Squish that over the left hand side. And we'll try test message. Hover, that was bang hover, bang hover. 7. 20. So we get nothing back. I wonder where it's getting to then. So I'm going to invoke hover, which is this part. And then we try to get our results. No hovers. Some hovers, console log hovers. Try info. Stick hovers in there. Run it again. Just trying to get a feel for whether it's actually recompiling or not. And whether I'm on the right line. And that should get us some hover results back from TypeScript. try 17. Eight. Ah, okay, so we'll get one back from there. 17.8. A nice object of contents, an object, TypeScript. So 17.8. Let position equals position undefined. Oh, so this is out by 1. Yeah, so I think before, when we're executing this, we were getting the position from VSCode itself. So it was basing it on being indexed from 1. But now that we're calling it ourselves, it's indexed from 0, so everything's out by 1 line. So we go back to our original query, and that was 720. If we change it to 820, we should get one back. No. Nine. Clear this. 920, none. 6. Stab in the dark. Oh yeah, I'm adding one on, not subtracting. Dumbass. Yeah, so this will be right now. Activation context. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Function activate. Function activate context VSCode extension context. Yeah, that looks right. So we've got our information back. Now that we've got the information back, we just need to put it somewhere else. So I think we'll still have the client, and we should be able to say first parameter is a string, which I think was the channel. So we know there's only one channel, so we'll shove that, hardcode that in, and then we'll say this has to be a string, so we need to convert these hover things back. I think for now, to make things a bit easier, we're just going to assume that we're only going to grab the first one in the contents array. In terms of how the different extensions implement this, it's normally you get the hover text first, and then for the other objects in the hover coming back, it's information that could be used for footers and things like that. So I think we'll assume we're going to take the first line. So we'll do it quick and dirty. Let top equals hovers try head. Array.tryHead. Capital A. Do we really need to do it that way though? So we've got some hovers, it's hover array. I don't have anything else in there. That's better. Yeah, didn't have system open, so there's no try head. So now we've got an option back, which is the first hover. We'll assume there's something in it, just so we can get the next part sorted out. So this is a content, which is a resize array. Now I know that there's something strange about the hover stuff. With the hover stuff, it comes back as a resize array in the contents, and it's a resize array of marked strings. But marked string is depreciated and is a type alias for markdown string. So you can cast a marked string to a markdown string, and then you can get access to the actual text of the markdown, which will get you back this chunk. If there's any markdown around it, which there probably is for the syntax highlighter stuff. Okay, so now we know the rough structure. We can match the top. Grab out the option. So this will be a hover, some hover. So now we can look inside the hover contents. Move this down a bit. So we've got a bit more space. So hover contents. So there's no such concept as try head for a resize array. But we could do sequence.tryhead, and that would get us back the top contents. It's getting quite nested now, so if we match top contents with some contents, some contents is a marked string. So if we do markdown equals contents, and if we cast that to markdown string, that should hold the cast, because a markdown string let's have a look. Const equals hover contents. So this is a marked string. A marked string is a markdown string. Inside a union for. 3, 4. If you look in the TypeScript definition itself, it's a bit more intuitive than the bindings that's generated from it. If we quickly look in there, you can see a bit easier. Node modules, types, VSCode. If we looked for marked string, so a marked string is a markdown string or a string with a language and a value. This type is appreciated. Please use markdown string instead. Okay, cool. So, what now? It's getting quite nested, so I'll probably have to collapse this with something else like an option lift an option lift 3 to collapse all of the option definitions in, so you only invoke a function if all of the option components are applicable. Lift 4, yeah, I think lift 4 would work that way, because every one would be passed to the next one. So kind of similar structure to what we've already got. See, this might not hold because the cast might fail, but we'll just pretend it won't. So I've got markdown, now we should be able to get a value out of that. And now from here we should be able to do client. Did we type that before? Grab this here. Client say environment channel 0, which is there's only one channel in there, value. This expression was expected to have type string, but was string star. No, it's not tupled. I actually thought it was. Mark string does not have any proper subtypes. Okay. We can try sequence try-cast. Cat type. Not sequence cast. Mark string, markdown string. See if this works. Contents equals hover contents, try head, sequence cast, try head, try cast, not compatible with the type enumerable. I do we do that cast then in Fable? I know there is a markdown string. Can we match that? So look at the definition. Contents, some contents. No, I don't want that. Hover contents. Marked string. So it's a U4. Marked string. This is I find a bit confusing using the U4s. Erased union to represent one of 4 possible values. One, two, three, four. The first one is a markdown, and then we've got another 3. I thought this would be a quick stream to get running, but I didn't know there'd be this hassle with this stuff. What doesn't it like? A pattern discriminator markdown string is not defined. Open the Fable docs because I don't know. Because the Fable docs are shafted. Forgotten how to work with erased unions. If anyone's watching that can remember, drop me a hint. So we've got erased unions. If you had more types, blah blah blah. myfunc 1, 2, 3, 3 is JS native, so myfunc equals bang hat string value. This is the thing I hate about Fable. It just doesn't mesh completely nicely with fsharp. Res unions, special unions are created just for overloading parameters. So my func bang something 5. How can we undo them though? How can we decompose them or deconstruct them? So annotate these. Tagged unions are closer to fsharp unions, but the structure remains different. Blah blah blah. See the redux sample. To do blah blah. Case 1. So I'm guessing we have to do case 1. Awful. Yeah. Case 3 and 4. There should be case 3 and 4 there. And and 3. This expression was expected to have type marked string. Marked string? Marked string, but has type U8. U8? It is a marked string. It doesn't have type U8 at all. Hi, JetHusk3. I'm just bashing my head against the wall with Fable. And I cannot remember how to decompose an erased union. I've got this marked string here, which is got this marked string here. And what I want to do is I want to use pattern matching to just extract the markdown string. Sounds simple, but kind of struggling with how to define it easily. This expression is expected to have type marked string. What? Is it expected to have marked string or markdown string? It is a marked string. Oh, U4. Oh, that's why it's giving me the bullshit about it being a U8, because it's just assuming it's the last one on the list. Oh yeah, that's slightly more sensible. Value. Yeah, it's really annoying, especially when I kind of just expected to pattern match it nicely, or I expected to be able to cast it from a marked string to a markdown string, because if you do that in TypeScript it works because it's different. or UDAR, U4, and then U4, another U4. I don't even know what it's in these three of the cases anyway. But we'll just extract that out because it's a string. I'm assuming it's in the hover definition. I'm going to check what they are. So if we're looking at TypeScript defs, a markdown string. Marked string. So marked string is a markdown string, or a string. Or a record with a language and value. So the Fable TypeScript converters changed this into a U4 rather than a U3. So that's confusing as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So is this possibly because the TS to Fable hasn't done its job grandly? Because case 1 is fine, case 2 is a string, but case 3 and 4 are actually one case. Since it's depreciated, it should be using it. Probably not, but VSCode still uses it, so I think I will as well. The API in VSCode still uses and still returns it. So when you do execute hover, when you do the execute hover command, it returns a hover. So I guess at some point it'll return a markdown string instead. I'm expecting not to get any values from these, but value. That should just be markdown. Shove that there, and text a string and markdown. So top contents. So our options are kind of getting out of hand now. I can return a unit. And that one can return a unit as well, because nothing happens if there's nothing there. We could print a message, but we don't want to right now. These are kind of naff, but especially if there is an extension which returns the third option in that TypeScript definition, it's going to be 3 and 4, but only 4 is going to hit. So can we munge them together to can't do that, can we? It's a pity we couldn't bind off variables. Actually, what we'll do, we just won't bother. If it's one of the obsolete cases, we won't bother to return that. Or we'll just return an empty string. With to doing it, perfect. Right, let's have a look. Has that worked? Kill the watcher, just for fun. So appears to have run. Still passing. It's watching. We can run our extension again. And in theory, 620. Let's spin up, and if we ask the chatbot what's on line 6, position 20, to do. Fantastic. That's wonderful. That's typical, isn't it? Actually, we'll put stuff in here and then we'll return. And what would stuff be? A marked string. T-string. See what that does. It's possible that TypeScript add-in is still using the old stuff. Object, fantastic. Alright, so yeah, and there's a how can we get the string out of a marked string then? Oh, this is a pile of shit. Well, hang on. What we'll do is we'll run a different add-in. We'll actually open up something a bit different. Hello World sample, is that a different one? Yeah, it's the same one. We'll actually open up our web project in here. And what's this crap? C# client. I heard this C# thing keeps downloading its updates and annoying me. Just get on with it. Right, that's loaded in now. So we should have a tooltip on line 8. Yeah. Initial options, so line 7. So I'll try line 7, 7. So why is it always dropping down into a marked string? So we've got object back, but man, I'll just clear this console because I wasn't paying attention. So we're getting back an array with an object in. Contents has an array of 4 and there's 4 objects. So let's drop this part here is a marked string. But it's not a markdown string. Well, I'm sure I've done a project where you could cast the marked string into a markdown string. So it's interesting that objects have the underscore prefix properties. So what we're doing is grabbing the... It's kind of getting a bit too Pyramid of Doomy now, because I'm getting top contents. So we get the hoverback, get the top of the array, which will get us this one. Get the top contents, which is this one. And then it's got a value. So what's any of this one? We've got nothing in that one. We've got a full name, app options, and assembly app. So these two are it's footer information for Ionide. So really we just want this. All we want was this. Just this chunk. And then we top and tail it, taking off the markdown tags and shove it in the chat window. And I think we'd be done. Apart from clean up and productizing it. So these never ever hit. So we've got max string. So how do we get that out of it? I'll look at our definition of a marked string first, which is in VSCode bindings. Marked string. Well, because we're getting 4 cases back, it's not hitting case 1 or 2. This is either 3 or 4. I'm curious to know which case it is. We'll grab that again, copy it, and do case 4. Stop it. Case 4, and then put 4 in there. Case 3, case 4. Oh, U3, U4. So we'll run that and see if we can case 3 or 4 out. Because I'm curious about what it's binding to in Fable. Okay, we'll clear this. So, hang on a sec, what's just happened? Then I'm confused. No, by adding case 3 and 4, it's actually hitting case 1. So now our chatbot will return us different things. Try another line. We'll try. We will try line 9. Line 15. Which is 8:15. Alright, cool. And so, apart from having nasty markdown in the chatbot, you guys can now query what's in this screen. Okay, it's this one. That one there. I can't see myself on this chat, so you could query things on that screen and get things back. So I think that's kind of cool. We've got a complete flow. We've created TMI bindings. We've created VSCode bindings from scratch. We've tested out with TypeScript, and we've then ported that to Fable, and then we've plumbed it through right the way through. It's not a complete solution, but it's kind of doing something. So if you hover something completely out of bounds, you'll get nothing back. Because I've got these catchers. But we could just get the client to say, didn't find anything. So the first one, if there's no contents. So Chesk says, I was guessing for the ignore on line 77. Okay. The erase starts at 0, so you have to take 1 off for the line. Now there is no line 76, it's only using this window, so you'd kind of be anything on this window you can query with the chat client. It's not bound to the other window. It would be if we added the extension running from our main workspace. Yeah, I think the column will be off by 1 as well, although they call it character in VSCode, so. $51.10. That's probably a space, 51.10. So there won't be a hover result. You can actually write a chat client which just permutates all the numbers. So ideally you could do something which removes the markdown as well. I mean, it'd probably be fairly simple to top and tail it, just take off the front and top line, but some of the markdown that comes back has a carriage feed first, so you probably have to trim it, split it, and remove any line stamp of markdown. But it's kind of cool that it's got this far. So that's pretty much what I wanted to do for this stream. Finish the work we started yesterday, because it was so close to being not complete, but at a state where we can actually do a full flow through the app. So I might actually leave it there for today, and we can come back in next time to clean this up. To possibly we could define some combinators for options to deal with this nestedness. We could bring in some applicatives to deal with it, so we could fold over each option. And that's only if we don't care about the results of the non-cases. We could use like an option lift for pass in each function. Or we could just use the maybe computation expression to shorten that as well. So probably the maybe would probably be a better bet to slip in here, because we do have quite a lot of see, we're inside a promise computation expression, and then we'd have to start a maybe computation expression to get rid of these 3 sum blocks. That still puzzles me though, this U4 and U3 case. It must be by wildcarding it, it's confusing the pattern matching in Fable. Actually, let's put some console logs in. Just to make sure what's actually happening. Actually, let's not start with bad intentions from the beginning. Get these on a separate line. So A15, what does that yield? That yields the right line, and it's coming back, yeah, MDS. So we're hitting the MDS block, the markdown string. I did think it was always coming back in markdown, but curious. It shows you in Fable you have to be super careful how you program, because if you just stick in a wildcard there, it's a completely different expression to what you're expecting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up that TypeScript one, the Hello World sample. So 615 maybe. So Chetask says, what's the compiled JS for the exhaustive match versus the incomplete match? Yeah, that could be a good thing to check out. To be honest, when I'm doing these live streams of Fable, there's lots of unexpected things which creeps out the woodwork all the time, so it seems to catch me. So TypeScript's working as well, and that's dropping into MDS as well. Yeah, so if we have a look at the output, so it will be inside the extension JS. So I guess it's this section. Make this full screen. Drop this to the right hand side. And then we will make this drop that out there. A new window for that, and then we'll change this to, we'll get rid of that case and we'll just change that to did it actually do anything? I can't see any difference. So premise builder around 24B premise. So return top neck equals null, top contents, hover source, hover contents. Oh, it's all on mine, that's why. Can we pre-print this format? As this is where it starts to diverge. We've got type of contents equals string. Whereas the alternative is not equals null. Markdown equals null. It's a bit of a pain because the text goes so much to the right. It goes on forever. Can I get it to drop down? I think I've missed a previous question mark somewhere. I can't see it. Anyway, there is some subtle differences, and it's quite surprising if you don't add all of the match cases, you get different behavior. Kind of a subtle bug, I would say. Might be worth using this as a repo into an issue with Fable to make sure that this is expected behavior, because it's certainly surprising. Just kill these files and .save and kill this one as well, and I think I'll leave the stream there, and then we'll continue next time with a bit of a cleanup, and we'll maybe try and make a very simple .NET template from this, so we can in the future somebody can make a VSCode extension quite quick using Fable. And I'll leave it for there. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.